There is a story hidden in a quiet corner of the world that you will carry with you long after it ends. Far from the rush of modern life, nestled between gentle hills, lay a village where time itself seemed to slow its pace. Here, the air smelled of damp soil and ripening grain, and the days were measured by the sun's journey. In this place of quiet rhythms lived an unlikely pair, a spirited young dog named Ember and a weathered, aging horse called Sage. Ember was all fire and motion, a blur of brown fur guarding his family's home with relentless zeal. His world was simple, built on the certainty of his master's love. Sage, however, was a creature of stillness. His coat was etched with the maps of old scars, and his eyes held the weight of countless seasons. He had once known the thunder of battle, but now his days were filled with the quiet hauling of harvest. Each dusk, as the sky bled into shades of violet and gold, they would meet at the stone wall dividing the yard from the pasture. It was during one of these tranquil evenings that Ember, his tail thumping contentedly, declared, "Our humans are truly remarkable. We are so fortunate to serve them. I would give everything for my family." Sage turned his heavy head. "Your faith is a beautiful thing, young one," he replied, his voice a low rumble. "But tell me this, when your steps grow slow and your voice too weak to sound the alarm, will their devotion remain as steadfast?" Ember's head cocked. "Without a doubt. They tell me I am part of them." "Part of them," Sage echoed, his gaze drifting to the darkening horizon. "I, too, was once told we were one soul. I carried my rider through smoke and fury. I felt his fear and his courage as if they were my own. I believed the bond was unbreakable." The air grew still between them. "What happened when the fighting was over?" Ember asked, his voice barely a whisper. Sage took a long, slow breath. "He sold me." Said an old horse was a burden he could no longer bear. He didn't look back as he led me away. A profound silence fell, broken only by the evening insects. Ember looked toward the warm glow of the farmhouse window, a seed of doubt now planted deep within his heart. As days turned into weeks, Ember began to see the world through a new, more cautious lens. He noticed the sharp tone in a neighbor's voice when their old sheepdog moved too slowly. He saw how a once prized hunting bird was left in a cramped cage. The village was the same, but the young dog was changing. Then, winter descended with a sudden, brutal fury. A gale howled down from the mountains, tearing at roofs and drowning the world in a cold, relentless deluge. Ember, barking frantically, saw that the pasture gate had been torn from its hinge. Sage was trapped, the floodwaters rising around his legs. Ember raced to the farmhouse door, scratching and whining. His master yelled from inside, "Be quiet, Ember. It's just the storm." A window slammed shut. Without a second thought, Ember plunged back into the tempest. He fought his way through the mud to where Sage struggled against a tangled rope. "Go back," Sage neighed, his eyes wide with fear. "You will be lost." Ember, gripping the coarse rope in his teeth, growled back, "You said they abandon us when we are no longer useful." Perhaps that is true for some, but I will not. With a final desperate wrench, the rope gave way. But in that same moment, a section of the damaged stable wall groaned and collapsed, pinning Ember beneath a heavy beam. Sage was free, but he did not run. He stood over his young friend through the long, terrifying night, using his own body as a shield against the lashing rain. When dawn finally broke, the master emerged to a scene of devastation. He found Sage, trembling with exhaustion, standing guard over a wounded Ember. The man's face crumpled. He fell to his knees in the mud, cradling Ember's head. "Why did you go out there?" he whispered, his voice thick with a grief he didn't understand. In that moment, looking at the loyal horse and the dog he had failed, something shifted inside the man. He carried Ember inside, tenderly cleaned Sage's old wounds, and that very day began building a stronger, warmer shelter for them both. As Ember slowly healed, the man's heart seemed to heal with him. He became a different person. He helped his neighbors repair their storm-damaged homes. He spoke against chaining animals in the cold. The village watched, and some mocked his softness. few began to listen. Weeks later, Ember and Sage watched the sunrise together. "You see," Ember said softly, "they can remember how to be kind." Sage nodded gently. "I see that now, little friend." It is not that all humans are cruel. It is that they sometimes need a mirror to see their own hearts. The world did not transform in a day, but in that small village, a new understanding began to take root, spreading from one heart to the next, all because a dog and a horse chose loyalty over instinct. Years later, when Ember could no longer run and Sage's steps were slow, the man never once considered them a burden. He built a soft bed for the old dog by the hearth, and he let the old horse roam the sun-drenched pastures in peace. When children asked him why he cared for them so deeply, he would simply smile and say, "Because they, in my moment of forgetfulness, reminded me of my humanity." We, as humans, hold a profound power. We can build or we can break. We can cherish or we can discard. If this reminder of loyalty and compassion resonated with you, please give this video a like and share it with someone who needs to hear it. It truly helps our channel, Wines of Thought, continue to share stories that matter. The ultimate lesson is not about whether humans are inherently good or bad. The question is, what will you choose to be today? Your every action has the power to be the reason someone else chooses kindness. Let that power guide you.